Good morning, good morning, good morning. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and you are breathing. Today is Friday, July the 19th, 2024, and I would like to welcome you all to This Is Just a Thought with Stephen Corner-Gay. Hope everyone is enjoying their Friday. We have made it to the end of another work week. We are here for some. Some of us may have to work this weekend and some may not. But whatever the case, we made it to the end of the work week. We are here. We are here. All right. Today's word of the day, dauntless, which means very brave. Dauntless. I hope everyone, like I said, is enjoying that Friday. Man, I have the day off, but I got to go in tomorrow. But I'll take a Friday off. I will take a Friday off. I am going to relax. Hey, what is there to do on a Friday after you worked all week? Relaxation. Relaxation. I don't run around like I used to. I just don't. And I really don't have time to. I work. So hey, I mean, if you work all the time, you really ain't got time to run around and act like you ain't got the good sense. The Lord gave a blade of grass or a billy goat. He just don't. He ain't got time. I don't know. I don't have time. Maybe some of you do. Maybe some of you do. I ain't knocking you. Just ain't my bag. Just ain't my bag. But nevertheless, hey, enjoy your Fridays and especially enjoy your weekend. Before I go any further, as always, hit that like and subscribe button along with that bell icon so you can get notified when I drop these podcasts. Keep it in the loop. There's always going to be some interesting topics of conversation that I will deliver. Just to give you guys something different to think about, maybe another perspective. And like I always say again, hey, get in that comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Whether yay or nay, I'm pretty thick skinned. I won't bite. I won't bite. And I'm sure we can carry a nice adult, mature conversation without getting downright indignant and belligerent. Just can. So hit that like and subscribe button along with that bell icon, like I said, to get notified when I drop these podcasts. Hate for you guys to miss out. I would hate for you guys to miss out. All right, let's move along, man. Hey, and as predicted, finally some relief from the heat. The rain has came, folks. The rain has came. They're saying we're going to get some more rain today and tomorrow, maybe the remainder of this weekend and next week, because man, the temperatures have dropped drastically. Today's high is expected to be 84 with a real feel of 88. I'll take it. I will take it. I will take it. I don't know about you, but I will take it. I will take it. I will love it. I will enjoy it. Far cry from real feels of 108, 10, whatever the case may be. So I'll take this real feel of 88. I just will. And like I said, they're saying for the weekend and next week, temps are going to be in the 80 with a chance of rain, if not every day, just about every day. So that's going to cool things down. Whew. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Boy, you just don't know. That heat was, whoo, it was unbearable. It just was. Sometimes you would go out and it would be like someone just threw a blanket over you and were smothering the mess out of you. Like you were in a big bear hug by Andre the Giant or somebody. Just was. So these 80s, I'm going to take it. There's going to be some low 80s. There's going to be some high 80s. I'll take it. Not sure how long this will last, but we're only in July, folks. We're only in July. We still got to get through the rest of July and August before we start cooling off. So, like I said, not sure how long this is going to last, but I think we'll be seeing that heat again. I was thinking yesterday as it relates to this heat. I said, man, about 2 or maybe 3 summers ago, we really didn't have a summer. Remember, the temps were just like they are now in the 80s. It really didn't. The temperature we just didn't have heat like that about 2 or 3 summers ago. But we have made up for it now. This year and last year, I think we have made up for it. because we got hammered last year, and the way things were going, it was looking like we were going to get hammered again this year. But we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll stay in the 80s for the remainder of the summer. Doubt it. I really doubt it. But as always, hey, continue to hydrate. Wear that sunscreen. Keep a hat on your head. Limit your time outside, and always, hey, recognize the signs of heat exhaustion or heat stroke. Just because that temperature has dropped, it still could get quite humid, and you can still get dehydrated. So that's why I say, hey, hydrate. Wear that sunscreen. Keep a hat on your head, and hey, limit your time outside if you can. Just because the temperatures have dropped, it is still going to be humid. Like I told you, the real feel today is expected to be 88, although it's 84 degrees. So the humidity is still out there. So hey, keep hydrating. Hey, keep hydrating. Don't you miss a beat. Please, hydrate. Hey, looks like Bronny James. I haven't talked about him as of late. LeBron James' son was drafted, and they're the first ever father and son duo in the NBA. If not in sports in general, if I'm not mistaken. So the very first father and son duo in the NBA for a while there. Well, it's summer league. It's nothing to write home about. But for a while there, it didn't look too good for young James. Young James. He wasn't doing too well. I think in some games he got like 2 or 4 points. Wasn't looking too well, but here the past 2 nights, starting on Wednesday night when he played the Hawks, he scored 12. And last night versus the Cavaliers, which I did get a chance to watch a little bit of before I turned it, he scored 15 points. So maybe he is developing slowly but surely. He's getting his groove. He's getting his confidence. He did look like he had his confidence, whereas before you could tell he didn't. This is something new for him. Many of players, I don't care how good they are, and whether they went through college and was superstars and whatever, what have you, a lot of NBA players, NFL players too, they'll tell you that, hey, when you get to the professional level, it's a culture shock. Your mind has to adjust, not just the physicality, but your mental has to adjust. And maybe he's adjusted slowly but surely. Got 15 points last night versus the Cleveland Cavaliers and 12 points Wednesday against the Atlanta Hawks. Maybe he's developing. Maybe he's getting it together. Still has a long road ahead of him, though. I will say that. And, folks were, of course, bashing him. He isn't that good. He ain't that great. He just got in there because of his father. Why? Of course he got in there because of his father. Why wouldn't he? Like I said before, you as a parent, you're supposed to lay the foundation for your child to build upon. And that's just what LeBron James has done for his son. But, the one thing I've always said, and I said when all of that started, and especially when this summer league started, how they were, folks were bashing him, saying, hey, see, told you he wasn't that good. He just has to develop. No one, very few, if any, can come straight into the NBA and dominate. They just can't. It takes some time to develop. It takes some getting used to, if I could say that. It just does. So it looks like he's getting used to it a little bit. He's getting his groove. We'll see what happens. I wish him the best. I really do. Yeah, folks, like I said, folks are just going to gripe, piss and moan about any and everything. All it is he wasn't he's got to learn. He has to develop. Do I think he's ready to go to the next level and join the Lakers during the regular season, join the team and become a starter? No. I don't even think he believes that. I just don't. He has to develop. And after these last 2 games, he could be developed. We'll just have to wait and see. We will just have to wait and see. Just will. Hey, many folks woke up this morning or arrived at airports this morning or even doctor's visits this morning to a little problem. It was a system failure. There were a lot of flight delays, flight cancellations, groundings even. and doctor appointments and procedures had to be canceled because they couldn't access the patient's medical records. It was a software failure by Microsoft. They had a little glitch, but they assured everyone that it wasn't hacked. It wasn't a security breach. It was just a software failure. It happens. Um, you know, it happens in and everywhere where we've become a society where we switched over to technology. We no longer do the the pen and pad method. Everything's done via the computer, internet. So whenever there's a software problem like this, it just goes to show you the magnitude of how everything is dependent upon software, internet, computers. Just is. That's all it was. It was nothing major. It was nothing, to get too upset or be alarmed at. That was made, they kept reassuring everyone of that, but still a lot of folks were upset. Their flights were delayed or canceled or grounded. Planes were grounded. We have become that society of impatience. It's the best I can tell you. So a lot of places, what they're saying is a lot of places that use this software, Microsoft is pretty much everywhere now. Um, they're having to persevere and go through it and get things done the old-fashioned way, the old hunch and punch method. If you use a typewriter, I don't think they have typewriters anymore, do they? No, they don't. They don't. Pen and paper. Then again, a lot of these folks now, they don't know how to write, or they really never had to. Everything's done on a computer in school now. Better start hiring some of these old fogies who can still write in cursive. Oh man, but yeah, a lot of folks were upset this morning, which is understandable. It can throw a little mucky wrench in your game, especially if you were going on vacation, which a lot of folks were, and they were rightfully, they were upset a little bit. But I don't think it's going to be a major delay or cancellation. I guarantee you by some point in time today they'll have everything figured out, and it'll be business as usual. It just will. But the airline industry, it has called a lot of flack here of late with the issues they've been having. So when folks got to that airport, they were probably thinking to themselves, "Oh boy, here we go again. It's a continuation." Nah, not really, not really, not really. Just a software glitch. That's all. That's all. Nothing to get alarmed about. It wasn't hacked or there wasn't a security breach. Just wasn't. Just wasn't. At least that's the preliminary report. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Hey, man, wow. Looks like President Joey Boy Biden has COVID. Her. Yeah, folks are still catching COVID. There are several strands. There's a new strand that's out now. They're saying it's not as contagious, but they want everyone to be alert and be aware of what's going on. So it looks like the president of the United States has COVID. So of course, he was scheduled to give a speech earlier this week in I believe it was Las Vegas at some Hispanic organization. He had to cancel that one. I told you earlier, also earlier in the week, he spoke with the NAACP. He was fine at that one. It's probably when he had COVID. Somehow, some way in between those speeches, he began to feel a little off, more off than he is. Felt a little off, got tested, and it was discovered he had COVID. Now, all of this is coming about. A lot of folks are speculating. They're saying, does he really have COVID, or is he being pushed aside? Because he has said that, of course, they were calling, a lot of folks were calling for him to step down, step aside, and allow someone else to run. They feel he can't defeat Donald Trump. He said, hey, if the only way he would step aside first was if God told him to, and then if he said, hey, if there was something medically wrong with me. So the conspiracy nut jobs are out there again. They never go to sleep, do they? Any little thing, they will pop up on the scene like Sam Rothstein and exploit it. So they're saying in their mind, in their belief system, that he doesn't have COVID. He's being pushed aside because amid all of this, there has been more calls for him to step down. And the high number of high-ranking Democrats have called for the president to rethink his reelection attempt. I guess that's the politically correct way of saying, hey, move your out of the way. When I say high ranking, former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, she's the one that has came out and said, hey, maybe he needs to rethink his re-election attempt. And Minority Leader of the House, Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrat from New Jersey, he's came out also. There's been a bevy of senators and congressmen throughout the Democratic Party that have said quite possibly it may be time for President Biden to rethink his attempt for re-election. Because as you know, less than a week ago or a few weeks ago, they were vowing and giving him their unwavering support that he was the nominee and we're going to beat Donald Trump. Times have changed. I wonder what changed you guys' mind. Was it that debate? Yeah. Was it those interviews he gave? Yeah. Was it you guys actually sitting back, thinking and analyzing and realizing? And I'm sure a few polls were sprinkled out here and there because after that debate, they took an immediate poll and it came back not too favorable for President Biden. After that debate, maybe he had COVID then, or he was beginning, because he was coughing a lot. He was. I don't know what the incubation period is for COVID now, but maybe he had it then. Maybe that's all that was wrong with him. He had COVID. It could happen. It could be true. Just could. But whatever the case may be, there have been a lot of Democrats that have came out. Like I said, down to Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries, even former President Barack Obama says might be time for him to really sit down and think and analyze, can he win against President Trump? Boy, they'll turn on you quick, won't they? Folks will turn on you quick when things go south. I've always said it. You know, I'm always telling you how people are. This is a prime example because, like I said, less than a week ago or a week and a half ago, the Democrats all across the board were pledging their unwavering support. They said he's the nominee no matter what. They don't care what anyone says or what any poll says. He's it. He's our guy. Now you want to push your guy aside. Who's the likely replacement? Vice President Kamala Harris. I would think. But there are a few Dems that are questioning that also. Told you it would rear its ugly head. I told you this was if they really and truthfully are trying to want President Joe Biden to step aside, Kamala Harris is the next in line. That ain't logical thinking. That's a fact. She's the vice president. She's on the ticket. She's the next in line. This will show you what true progress is or isn't. Yeah, it will. Because there have been some, they're saying behind the scene, they're saying, what about Kamala Harris? Democratic Party's in a mess. What in the world? You guys are 3 months out from an election, and y'all can't get it together. Why? What in the hell is going on in the Democratic Party? Like I said, Kamala Harris is next up in line if you want Joe Biden now. I don't think you guys have enough time to find a replacement or change the damn ticket all the way around, because there's going to be a lot of folks that are going to be pissed if you put someone ahead of Vice President Harris. Are you going to change the whole thing? You're going to have another person running for president and then have another VP pick? You're going to totally oust him? Sounds like a huge stretch, a long stretch. It does. I don't think they would do that. Like I said, I don't even think they're going to really ask President Biden to step down. It's too late. We're 3 months out now, folks. The Bible said 3 months out. I mean, we are. Who are you going to put on the ticket now? You can't. There's no way. You're going to look horrible. You're going to look like a bunch of Johnny-come-latelys, like a bunch of fools, like Keystone cops running around. Don't embarrass yourself. I mean, hey, just like I said before, as it relates to President Biden, got it. He's not as sharp as he used to be. But if you guys can remember, I don't know how far back you guys can recollect, but now we know that President Ronald Reagan in his second term had the beginning stages of Alzheimer's, dementia. And those inside of that cabinet knew. So how did they combat that? I'm not saying that President Biden has the beginning stages of Alzheimer's or dementia. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is there was a point in time in American history, whether we want to admit it or not, or whether you don't know, where we had a sitting U.S. president that wasn't too up on his game. So what did his administration, what did his cabinet do? They limited his time in front of the damn camera. Yeah, they did. And they handled business behind the scene. It's a fact. Look it up. It's there. It's history. We'll see what happens. All I can tell you is Democratic Party, be careful. Be careful. Because if you guys move the wrong way, you kind of sort of already starting to look foolish with your bickering. Be careful. A lot of folks are watching. A lot of folks are watching. Not just here in this country, but once again, internationally also. Man, and folks around the world are watching this presidential election because it's very important, not just here in the United States, but throughout the world also. Like I said, the United States is the standard bearer of democracy. A lot of folks are watching internationally. So don't slip up, Democratic Party. Don't you slip up. Don't you do it. All right. Wow. Well, looks like Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich, hope I said that name right, Evan Gershkovich has been sentenced to 16 years in prison in Russia for espionage. Here we go again, folks. We're right back down memory lane. He was sentenced today to 16 years in prison for espionage after a 2-day trial this morning. Well, after a 2-day trial, the hearing of evidence, then this morning they had this sentencing hearing, and he was sentenced to 16 years. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I think a lot of you out there already know this guy's MO. You know what he do. He does what he does. This is how he rolls. This is Putin. This is Putin setting up another prisoner exchange. This is nothing new. This is what he does every single time. He arrests someone, detains them, has a trial, conviction, and then the negotiations begin. This is what he does. This is what he did with Brittany Griner. This is what he did with the other, there was another gentleman. The one they wanted to get, but they can't get him back. Like I said, this is how Russia works. This is Putin 101. This is Putin. This is what he does. Because what came out is, like I said, it pretty much equates to a three-day trial. The Russian government and judicial system said they had an irrefutable evidence that showed his guilt. But they never released it to the public. The public has, not even Russian citizens, have seen the evidence, the irrefutable evidence, that proves his guilt. The trial and the hearing of the evidence was behind closed doors. And they just came out and announced, hey, we had the trial, we reviewed the evidence, here's his conviction, he's been sentenced. 3 days, tops. Now put some money on it. Then in another day or so, a week max, Russia's going to come out and say, hey, you guys want to negotiate? Not making jokes. This is a fact of life. This is what Russia does. Just is. This is another episode of Prisoner Swap 101. Just is. It is. So we'll see what happens with this. We will see what happens with this. All right, let's go on some more news. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. Well, last night, former President Donald Trump, Republican Donald Trump, he accepted the Republican nomination for president for the third time. Oh, Lord. Oh, man, it was grand. It was the pageantry, the support, the cheers, the jeers, the rallying cry. It was wonderful. Now, he had a number of celebrities that came out and supported him, not just last night, but throughout the week. I mean, there was Kid Rock, there was Roseanne, there was Amber Rose. Well, Kanye supported him. Go figure. Amber Rose, Dana White, and of course, even Hulk Hogan. I've always been a Ric Flair fan anyway. I don't get me wrong, I like Hogan. I'm not knocking him. I love my wrestling. But I'm from the South. I'm more partial to Ric Flair, the Nature Boy. So Hulk Hogan, he went as far as to call, he talked about the assassination attempt on President Trump this past weekend, and he said they failed miserably. He was highly upset for someone trying to kill his hero. Hey, like I said, there's a number of celebs out there that still rock with him. Hey, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. Okay. Well, I can go on to tell you, folks, that moment of unity that he promised he was going to give to the American people and the world as a whole, it never came. Because that fool went right back to from whence he came. I told you guys earlier this week, Monday to be more specific, it's a long time between now and Thursday when he gives that speech. He said he was going to unify the country. He was going to give a speech. He rewrote the speech after he was assassinated. He really sat back, had time to sit back and think and clarify some things in his mind. He's going to rewrite this. He rewrote the speech, and he was going to unify the country and the world too. He said he wasn't going to talk down or negative to President Trump or anyone. That moment never came. If anything, if he unified anyone, he unified the Republican faithful last night. Now, I will give him this. He was a little calmer, but he still hammered in and focused on Biden's record. In fact, he had gone as far before, sometime before, like I said, he said he was going to unify. He wasn't going to talk about Biden. He even came out and said, hey, he wasn't going to call President Biden by name. He wasn't going to have no derogatory remarks or comments about him. Really didn't. He was a little calmer. He really was. He was calm. But he still was firing those zingers. You could tell they were coming. They just weren't coming as fast. And they weren't as blatant. They weren't subliminal, but they were there. You knew what he was talking about. And even, like I said, he said he wasn't going to mention Biden's name. He did mention his name one time, but he pretty much stuck to his game plan. He just wasn't as loud and boisterous as he has been in the past. He even stood up on stage, nationally and internationally. First time we've heard. He acknowledged God. That assassination attempt may have just humbled him somewhat. Because like I said, he still went back to no faith. But that's what he does. That's who he is. Why wouldn't he do it? That's what got him there. Dance with the one who brung you or who came with you to the dance. Don't switch up now. Hey, that is what it is. And also, he did, however, pay respect to the one supporter that an attendee that was killed, the firefighter. He acknowledged him and acknowledged his wife, gave his sympathy, and also he talked about the two that were injured. He said they're doing better. Glad to hear that. Still trying to figure out what was going on and what went through that shooter's young head. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Also, hey, I need to make a correction. Wow. Sometimes, someone brought it to my attention. Thank you. But sometimes I will ramble. Last podcast, I mistakenly called the Secret Service the CIA. Those are two different entities. So he's being protected by the Secret Service, not the CIA. I apologize for that. And thank you to, I don't know what his name is on YouTube. Well, yeah, I do. Have the Incredible. Thank you there, Crazy Habe, for correcting me. Long-term friend. Long-term friend. Hey, that's what you got friends for. They could chime in and say, hey, look at him, man. He kind of slipped. Don't take it personal, folks. I don't. So thank you. Yeah, I apologize for that slip of the tongue. He was being protected by the Secret Service, not the CIA. So still no word or no inkling or no clue why he tried to assassinate former President Trump. Who knows? Who knows? We have, looks like former President Trump has the nomination, has the nominee. Republicans got their ducks in a row. They got Vice President hopeful J.D. Vance. And now President Trump. That's the ticket for the Republicans. Democrats, where you at? What in the world are y'all doing? The hell are y'all doing over there? Come on now, get it together. Get it together. Get it together quick, man. Come on now. Y'all are starting to look like a bunch of Johnny-come-latelys. You just are. You just are. Starting to look like a bunch of Johnny-come-lately here, fellas. Really, 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 and truthfully are. All right. Let's go get it. I wonder if you guys have heard this story about this senator out of New Jersey, a Democratic senator out of New Jersey. Senator by the name of, what is his name? His name escapes me. Senator Bob Menendez out of New Jersey. The Democratic senator that was found guilty on all counts, 16 to be more specific, after being tried on charges of accepting bribes to benefit the governments of Egypt and Qatar. It's very reminiscent of, if you're saying to yourself, oh, here he goes, he's going to try to be little and degrade the Democrats. If you guys think back not too far long ago, we were dealing with a similar case with a senator or a representative out of New York, the great state of New York, Long Island to be more specific, George Santos, who got convicted of fraud. We all know what he was doing. This is politics. This is what politicians do. You may say some of them, yeah, some of them may do this. Some of them may get exposed more than others, because the great senator from New Jersey, Bob Menendez, like I said, was found guilty Monday of 16 counts of including accepting bribes, including cash and gold bars to benefit the governments of Egypt and Qatar. Sorry. You had gold bars. You had gold bars. Who has gold bars? Tell me. Who the hell has gold bars in their home, along with $480,000 in cash? You had gold bars. I can't believe that. That blows my mind. Now, of course, many are calling for him to step down, including Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. He called for Menendez to resign after the jury's decision. He says, in light of this guilty verdict, Senator Menendez must now do what is right for his constituents, the Senate, and our country, and resign. Now, Schumer has previously said that he was disappointed in his colleague and that Menendez hadn't lived up to the high standards expected of a senator, but he has stopped short of calling for his resignation. Now, how this thing came about, boy, when you get greedy, buffoonery shows. Yeah, the money was flowing, the gold bars were flowing. You got greedy, homie. You got greedy. Because prosecutors said that 3 businessmen paid bribes to Menendez and his wife. Boy, you had your wife in on it too, homie. Y'all were living good in the hood, man. In exchange for the senator taking actions to benefit them and the governments of Qatar and Egypt. According to prosecutors, those bribes included gold bars, a Mercedes-Benz that was given to his wife, and like I said, more than $480,000 in cash, which the FBI found stuffed into closets, jackets, bearing Menendez's name and other clothing when the Bureau searched his New Jersey home back in 2022. Whew. Where are you going to keep the gold? You can't go into the bank. I would imagine there are some U.S. banks that can hold the gold for you, but they would want to know, you're a U.S. citizen. How do you have these gold bars? Who has gold bars in America? Now, this is I'm not being funny, but many of you may be saying, well, that's odd. Not in those, in the Middle East, to be more specific, Middle East and Africa, and even some parts of Europe, they still exchange gold bars. And maybe here in the United States, I'm not talking about these little rinky-dink commercials you see about gold coins and the little flat gold bars, invest in gold, rah, rah, yeah. I'm not talking about that. But this guy had actual gold damn bars in his house. Why, what in the world, homie? Really? Wow. He's set to be sentenced in, I want to say October of this year. But he does, and he is up for re-election. And by the way, there's no law against someone who's been convicted holding his office until it runs out. Wow. Now, he didn't testify in his own defense, and his team argued that he was acting on behalf of his constituents, as any senator should, and that the government hadn't proven that the cash or gold bars were given as bribes. Now, what came out, and I kind of found it odd, but I guess after reading this article and after hearing the interview by his sister also, because when the good senator spoke outside the courthouse, he said, yeah, of course he apologized, rah, 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 shish, boom, bah, he was sorry. He said, but as far as him having that money in the house, he didn't speak on the gold bars. You couldn't explain that away. You can't explain that away, homie. He spoke on the cash. He said it was a common practice. I'm from Cuba. I keep cash on me. A lot of Cubans don't trust banks. Understandable. Get it, got it, understand. A lot of Americans don't trust banks. Stock market could crash at any moment or fall and start to waver a little bit. My money's tied up and it's in the bank. I need it. Get it, got it, understand. A lot of folks don't trust banks, especially after the Great Depression. And he's saying, that was a standard. That's a standard practice in Cuba, where he's from. That you keep cash on you and keep it in the house if you got to. Reminds you of the old jar, the old canning jar that a lot of folks would, or stash box that old folks would bury in the backyard, or keep cash up under the bed, up under the mattress. Get it, got it, understand it, but you're a sitting U.S. senator. You got $480,000 in your home, along with gold bars in your home. And they found the money in the closet and clothes pockets, jacket pockets. And the gold, I wonder where they didn't say where they found the gold bars. I guess they were in the closet too. Or maybe they were just laying around the house. Could have been. Could have been. They gave you, whoever it was, they gave your wife a big body Benz. Well, y'all living it up. Y'all got greedy. You got greedy, man. Just call it. They call it what it is. You guys got greedy and slipped up. Now, in response to his attorney saying you guys really can't prove that this was bribes or whatever, they've also gone as far as to say that some of the envelopes of cash in the Menendez's home had the one of the guys that he was accused, because they too, it was a total of 3 gentlemen that allegedly gave him these bribes. And what they're saying is one of the envelopes that was found inside of the home had one of those guys' fingerprints on it. So they're saying it may have been planted, that the good senator would not do such a thing and betray the trust of his constituents and the American public and the office and the prestige of a Senate of the United States of America. Boy, you had all that. You had all that money and all that gold in your house, in your possession, tucked away in the closet. You didn't know what did these guys do? Somehow, some way, you and your wife were away, your family was away, and the day of, they snuck in and threw all this crap in your closet and spread it out throughout the house, and then called the FBI. And they showed up and found it. Is that what the prosecution is telling? Is that what his defense is saying also? Because his defense is saying that's quite feasible. Even though the prosecutor's trying to say, hey, there's proof that he was in contact with these guys. Just take the L, man. Just take the L. Be done with it. You're caught. Your goose is cooked. You've been bribed. You were set up. Maybe you were set up. But this isn't the first time he's come under scrutiny. He's been in the Senate a while, decades, and he was hemmed up on another charge not too long ago or years ago also. Wow. That's crazy. So this is what you do. This is what you do. This is who you are. And like I said, this is the second corruption trial for Menendez. 18 years he's been in the Senate. This is his second one. The first one resulted in a mistrial due to a hung jury. That was back in 2018. Wow. I think he caught your goose is cooked this time. Ain't gonna be it ain't no mistrial because the jury found you guilty on 16 charges. Wow. Like I said, if you're saying to yourself, with the previous, with George Santos and fraud charges he had, we're using that money to do whatever he wanted to. If you're saying that's what Republicans do, here you have a Democrat. George Santos was only in the Senate, in the House for a brief period and just got elected. This guy's been in the Senate for 18 years. And this is his second go round with the judicial system for some suspicious, fraudulent, corrupt activities. So it ain't Democrat or Republican, it's politicians. This is what they do. Just is. Just is. So, hey, we'll find out what happens at his sentence. He's facing some years in prison if he's convicted. I don't know if they're going to. No, they haven't said anything about his wife. I don't know if they're going to try throw some charges her way. Also, I mean, they were gifts. She didn't know. Apparently, she thought it came along with the job. Just did. Just did. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going in skedaddle. Get in that comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the day's topics. Were they worth it? What do you think about Bronny James and what's going on with him? Is it time for him to just bow out gracefully and give it up, or does he need more time to develop and grow? Yeah, I think he does. He just does. And also, hey, what is going on with President Biden? Are they really trying to oust him and move him, have him step aside? It's a little too late if you ask me. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that Democrats do have enough time to restructure, and rebound, and deploy, and still win the presidency 3 months out with that major switch in the ticket? Maybe they can. Maybe they can. And also, what do you guys think about these flight cancellations and groundings and doctor visits appointments being canceled because of a software glitch with Microsoft this morning or overnight? Were they hacked? No, they weren't. This was just a software glitch. That's all it was. That's all it was. Just a software glitch. Calm down, calm down. Don't need you conspiracy nut jobs out there ramping it and worrying and getting everyone riled up. Just don't. And also, get in that comment section. Am I wrong? I really need someone to tell me if I'm wrong when I say this is Putin's game plan. This is what he does. Prisoner exchange 101 as it relates to the newly convicted, as of this morning, Evan Gershkovich, who was sentenced to 16 years in prison for espionage. Is this a big setup for Putin to dangle him out in another prisoner exchange? I say yes. Get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Just do. And hey, what about former President Trump last night in his speech? Did he unify the country, as he said, and the world? Or do you just continue and unify the Republican base? You're just a little calmer, a little bit more deliberate. What do you think? Has he changed? I think not. I just don't think he has. And what do you think about this senator from New Jersey who was found guilty on 16 counts, including bribery, extortion, and acting as a foreign agent, and also obstruction of justice and several counts of conspiracy? I guess when he took those gold bars, he may have promised something to somebody over there, because that charge of acting on a foreign agent, I know I didn't talk about that. But good Lord, man, what in the hell were you doing? What were you doing with all those gold bars and $480,000 in cash in your home, in your clothing? What do you guys think about that? Get in that comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Is this business as usual for politics? Yeah, it is. It is. It just is. Some politicians, this is what they do. Some politicians, this is what they do, and they get caught. Some politicians, this is what they do, and they don't get caught. But it's only a matter of time. Hey, just like we were taught coming up, how we were reared, what's done in the dark will eventually come to liked every time, and it did and has. So get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about these topics today. Whether yeah, nay, good or bad, hey, I am fine. I am fine. And as always, I want to thank you all for lending me your ears this morning. Continue to like, support, share. Get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, thank you for listening to This Is Just a Thought with Stephen Corner Gay. Amen.